Hi everybody, welcome to the PC keyboard shortcuts. This is just a quick tutorial on how to move through data effectively using your keyboard rather than your mouse pad or your mouse, which can take sort of a lot longer. So you should be able to download this Superstore data and follow along if you want. The first is by far the most useful. It's if you mess things up, so it's undo. So let's say, I don't know, I just had some random typing and then you're like, hi. For some reason, like I wanted to undo them. So if you hold Control and then hit Z, it'll undo your last step. And you can keep doing that as many steps back as you want. And so most of you all are probably familiar with like maybe coming up here and doing it, and you can kind of do that. But it takes forever to do that if you're constantly doing it. And so this is also nice because it works in other programs that don't have an undo button. So a lot of times I've gotten stuck and been like, oh, I gotta undo that, so I can do Control Z, even if there isn't a button or a right click or something like that. So Control Z is really, really nice. There's actually a redo. You can actually do Control Y if you want. It's not on the sheet, but it'll redo if you accidentally go back too far or something like that. The next one is if you want to cut selected cells. So let's say I wanted to move like this whole sales column over to the right or something. You could select them all, so click on it. So the whole column, I'll click here, and if you do Control X, you'll notice the little the sort of dashed things going around. It means you've cut it. And then over here, to paste it, which is a little bit down, is just hold Control V, and it'll paste it and move it. And then I can do undo, Control Z, right, practice to kind of get it back there. If, let's say, you don't want to move it, if you want to duplicate it, let's say you want to copy it, you can, again, click on here, do Control C, and again, it's the same kind of round. That's how you let you know that something's copied. You just click wherever you want it, and then to paste, Control V, and it'll put it right there. So cut takes it and moves it, where copy copies it, and so you actually get kind of two copies there. So I'm going to undo, Control C, and get rid of that. If you want to select an entire set of data, like so notice that this data is kind of long and I don't really want to drag around or anything like that. What you can do is as long as you're clicked in the data, if you do Control A, it selects the entire set of data. I'm going to hit Escape to get rid of that box, but again, to select it all, you can be anywhere in here and do Control A, and it selects it all, which is really, really nice. If you want to find certain things, like if I knew a customer name I needed to find, I could do Control F, and you get this find box. On a Mac, it shows up here. You also have the search up here. If I want to look in a selected column, like if I only wanted to look in customer name, you can click on the column, Control F, and then you can go to find, or you can find and replace, and do kind of those two features. If for some reason you want a new workbook, you just hold Control N, and notice, ta-da, a brand new blank workbook pops up. If you like want to copy and move stuff over or something like that. To save any changes, you again could hit the save button, or you could just hold Control S. You'll notice a little hourglass, and then it saves over top of whatever you have. If you haven't saved it ever before, it might pop up and ask you what you want to save it as. To bold things, so I like to always bold my headers. You could do them individually, just highlight Control B. I like to do the whole row at the top and do Control B, and it'll make everything bold. Let's see, to italicize, same thing. So let's say you wanted these to be italicized, again, Control I, notice that they changed there. And then if you want to underline them, Control U, and it kind of puts an underline there. And again, you can undo these things with Control Z, backstep there. It's completely up to you. And then kind of moving around in the data. So if I want to select quickly a lot of different data or move all the way to the end, what we can do is click here, and if you hold Control, Shift, and right arrow, it highlights everything all the way to the right until it hits a blank. And then if I want to go down, Control, Shift, down. And it goes all the way to the bottom. If you only wanted to highlight, say, like one column, instead of like clicking this, if you only wanted to down to the last set of data, you can click on the top one and then hold Control Shift down, and it highlights everything there. And then you can go any direction. You can go left, you can go right, and yeah, kind of move around that way. If you just want to navigate rather than select, just hold Control arrow keys. If I want to go to the top from here, I'll do Control up. If I want to go to the right, Control right. All the way to the bottom, Control down. All right, and so you can use these keys kind of wherever you're at to get to the top really quickly, which is super nice. Another thing that we use a lot, and we talk about these in the additional helpful tips, is filters. They're super useful. You can go up to the data tab, I believe. Oh, no, it's in the home tab and do select and filter. But again, we're trying to make it quicker. So Control Shift L, and notice these little boxes show up and your filters show up, which is really, really nice. Let's see, if you want to open a window to insert a new row or column. So if you're clicked somewhere, if you hold Control Shift and then the plus or equal sign, it asks like, well, what do you want to do with these current things? Like, well, what I want to do, I want to insert an entire column. You can hit OK. It inserts an entire column to the left. You could also do a row, so let's do Control Shift plus or equals, and that's right next to the backspace key if you're looking for it. You can do entire row, do OK. And then you could also do individual, like move cells up and down. So I'll undo this just for practice. And then Alt-Enter. This is a really cool one in terms of like if you're typing. So notice, like, let's say if I'm over here and I'm typing like hello world, hello, I don't know, Excel, folks, thanks for joining. And you didn't want it to like go all the way across here, especially because notice this cell, like if I typed anything like here, like hello, it cuts it off. So if you want this to go on additional lines, notice if you're in here and you just hit enter, it keeps going additional cells. But what you can do is like select where you want it to go down, or you can do this while you're typing. If you hold the Alt key and hit enter, it just goes to an additional line there. And again, like we can go over here and then do Alt and enter or something like that. And now it puts them all on separate lines. So this is super useful if you want to like type notes and stuff like that. The last piece is locking a cell. So let's say I wanted to do a formula, I don't know, equals, let's do sales minus profit or something like that. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to lock a formula. So let's say I just do this equals, let's do sales times, I don't know, discount. And you wanted to like drop this formula down to lock it, which wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. If you remember, if you know locking cells, you could manually go $sign here, $sign here, $sign here, $sign here, and do that. Or an easy way to do this, I'm going to delete all this and show you. A quick trick, and I use this all the time, is if you click on the cell and you know that's the one you want to lock, if you hold F4, it'll add them in there. For some PCs, it's function, so the FN button, top, bottom, left, and then F4, and same thing for Macs, it might be function F4, but that's just an easy way to kind of lock cells if you know like you want to drop a formula down and don't want it to move. I hope this was useful.